Alright, I don't normally play YGO Omega, but it's the only sim that has the new cards. Because my previous deck looked like this. It's in Master Duel. So if you want to look at what this deck looked like before the new support, this is what it looks like. It plays these sprites. You can play a different package, but this one's just here because it plays Fallen of Argyros, because funny lore card. Not very good. See, it's come up once that its effect is like this. And the only thing I was able to do was summon it to an Apo zone and have an effect not be negated once. Didn't matter enough to win the match. Enough about the Fallen of Argyros, though, and this list. If you want to copy it, look at every card. Just use your eyes. You'll figure it out. Over to this list. Here is our new list. It plays the new Tri-Brigade Springans kit. It plays the new Gung-Ho Springans from Burst Protocol. It also plays the Tri-Brigade Hammer and Mauser from the newest set in the TCG at the time of speaking, I think. I got these recently, at least. So plays Fallen and Virtuous, which comes out in a few days. That's why you don't have the art on this. That's why this and this still says beta card. We'll be looking at this deck today because a commenter on YGO Kit's channel replied to my comment and wanted to see my deck that I built for this, because I said that a particular build became a lot better. That particular build was the Master Duel version, which, you know, plays the sprites. Luckily, I can now get rid of Gigantic Sprite, I can now get rid of Sprint, and I can get rid of Elf. Elf just doesn't exist in the TCG. So we're playing this. There are many cards that are cuttable. This is just a lore pile. You can edit it in any way that you see fit. But this is my list as of now in Omega. I haven't played this against anyone yet. This is just my initial evaluation with a little bit of like solo testing. And so far it's been great. Okay, let's go over each card and what they do for the deck. Let's start with our one card Sharder. No, let's start with our one card starter, Tri-Brigade Fractal. So Tri-Brigade Fractal used to already be very good. It's played in some other beast decks. It's played in like Lunalight, I believe, to send one of the level 3 or lowers, because it sends level 3 or lower beasts, which means it can't send the new Tri-Brigade kit or Nerval by himself. He needs his compatriot Kit to do that for him, which sends another card, which was usually Nerval. Nerval would then add Karas, you'd banish 2, you'd link them off into Rampant Rampager, which we then link off into like Rugal or Shuraig or anything to get a Revolt, and then you'd have 4 beasts in your graveyard for a Shuraig on your opponent's turn. Great stuff. Very simple. Nowadays, that it's going to be very different. It's going to be very different. Fractal is now a one-card starter because Tri-Brigade Kit can send Tri-Brigade Springans Kit, which if you send it to the graveyard in any way, either from an Xyz, either from a fusion, or being linked off, or being sent discarded from the hand, it summons a Tri-Brigade Springans or Fallen of Albaz or monster that mentions it, and none of those are ever good. It's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. This card is beyond good. It's not a card you want to draw too often, because it's more of an extender. It's not a starter, but its effect is ridiculous. So if you get to it, and if you resolve it, your opponent does not want you to resolve this card. Let's just say that. Let's say that. The other cards that are very crucial to know in this deck is Mercourier, which you might not have played with if you had played Tri-Brigades previously, but I know some branded players will have seen this card. If you control a fusion that mentions the Fallen of Albaz, quick effect, you can send this card from hand or field to the graveyard, negate that effect. Very good if you find a way to get this to your hand. Unfortunately, this card is much more often found in banishment or in the graveyard in whatever way, at which point you will then banish it for its second effect. If it's banished, you can add from your deck to your hand Fallen of Albaz or a monster that mentions it. that's good enough. You know what that can get you? That can get you Quen, that can get you Ecclesia, that can get you the Golden Sword Soul, it can get you Albaz, it can get you Albaz the Ashen, it can get you Albion, it can get you the new Springens kit, and the old Springens kit, which, you know, they're pretty good. Kit, for instance, is a 1-card starter if you are playing regular branded. We are not, but it's still good enough to just search a branded card. You can search the new Fallen and Virtuous, you can search branded in High Spirits, which is probably the card the deck relies on a lot. If you're cutting any of the other spell traps, I'd say max out on High Spirits. We're currently playing 2 instead of 3 because I wanted to make a bit more room to experiment with other cards. We're playing Aluber. Normally I play only 1. You kind of only want to see 1 Aluber, because normal Aluber isn't a 1-card starter every single time, and it's not the starter you want to open. Your Tri-Brigade and Springens plays are far flashier than any of the plays Aluber allows in this version of the deck. Branded Fusion doesn't get you to the Devouring Dogma Dragon. It doesn't get you to a very profitable Mirror Jade. It gets you to Mirror Jade, but like either your Albion or Lubellion stays on field because we don't have a Bestial Lubellion to send it to the graveyard. We can't do that. We can, however, go Branded Fusion into send Light Dark, banish one of them, regained, shuffle them back. You know, there are ways to make Branded Fusion good, but it's more of a backup plan in this deck, which your opponent might not expect if you simply fake being a branded hand instead of this. This has gotten many of my opponents very confused. Even by game 2, sometimes they don't figure out quite what they're playing against, which is a neat part of this deck. It doesn't explain itself very well, and it's going to be a very unknown quantity. I love that about my decks. Some people don't, because they have to figure out every single thing about their matchup on their own. Alright, new card, PogChamp, Gung-Ho Springans. This card's also crazy, and especially crazy with Springens Kit. It's gonna be sent to the graveyard, right? It's gonna be sent to the graveyard by Gung-Ho Springans, most likely. Gung-Ho Springans reads, if it's Xyz summoned or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Captain Sargas. This idiot is always glued to my hand, but if you find a way to put him back in deck, he will be coming out. Good for him. Gung-Ho's second effect is to detach 2 materials from this card, add to your hand, or special summon from your deck the following: 1 Springans, Therion, or Fallen of Albaz, and monster that mentions it. One thing you have to note about this card, you can only activate the 1 Gung-Ho effect per turn, which means you have to choose between summoning the Captain Sargas on Xyz summon and detaching 2 to summon one of the other cards from your deck, or adding it. You kind of always want to summon with this, but if you really need to, you can add a Mercurier or something. One notable thing is that the first effect to be Xyz summoned or sent to the graveyard, see, it does actually come up to summon the Sargas, is great when you put it under the champ himself. Optimally, you don't want to make the champ with Gung-Ho, because it will have no materials by the end, which means Sargas only gets 1 material, which means its tally-hos aren't that profitable. But if you have a Merrymaker already on your field, or a Merrymaker under this, it's still fine. It's just you're going to end on an empty Gung-Ho in some way. You might be able to fill it back up with Brothers, or Sargas, or Rocky in the graveyard, but we'll see. You'll see. Merrymaker, also a great card in this deck. Do not forget about its quality. Main quality now is being able to send Springens Kit. The new Springens Kit, you know, the Light Beast Springens Kit. Not the Dark Beast Springens Kit, the Light Beast. But another quality it's always had is being able to send Springens Brothers, which can summon any Springans monster in defense position. Doesn't include Champion Sargas. This card just isn't a Springans anymore. He's beyond that. He's got his own band now. He's the champ. And he's gonna fucking let you know. Notable thing. Another notable thing about this deck is its ability to just use Sargass's ability, return a card to the hand to target your own cards. These are pretty good cards to just send back. Merrymaker is repeatable. Gung Ho becomes then repeatable. Do not underestimate it. It is very, very much worth it sometimes. You might just want to send back Gung Ho so you can summon like a Regulus or the Fallen of Albaz the next turn. We're also playing a bunch of Tri-Brigade spell traps. These cards functionally read do nothing. Other than Revolt, Roar, and Hammer, these cards kind of don't do anything. Showdown comes up, it'll get you back a Tri-Brigade if you banished Tri-Brigade, you summon a Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast. Which is, I mean, it comes up. It comes up especially to get back a Springan's Gift to your hand so you can send it to the graveyard in some way. If you somehow don't get to a Revolt or don't get to a position where you can activate Revolt. Because sometimes your field is just too full of Gung Ho Springans. Right. Okay. The Tri-Brigade spell traps, other than Revolt, Hammer, and Roar, are in here for various reasons. I mean, they of course have an effect printed on them, which can come up. I mean, Oath, target a Link monster, like target Shuraig, summon back Dragon that devours the Dogma. Seems pretty good, it's not too bad. Its effect in the graveyard, however, is why we play it, but it's truly only played because it's a Tri-Brigade spell trap. And it happens to be a trap that isn't named Revolt. Because then we can make Bucephalus II. This is the most questionable card in the deck. It requires the most garnets in your main deck to function. But it's so fun to try to play it. I just want to have a deck that can summon him. He's so cool. I will never, ever get to him in a profitable position. When I can summon him, I have almost always already won. But he gets the pogs out, and that's all that matters. Truly all that matters in your Yu-Gi-Oh game is whether the guy behind you in your locals is pogging at your game. Another new notable addition is the Dragon that devours the Dogma, or also known as the Brand Devouring Dragon. It is a 3-material Albaz fusion, which means you can't make it off of Branded Fusion, which can only send 2 cards. Did you know? You have to make it with Branded in White, Branded in Red, Poly, the effect of the Fallen of Albaz, the effect of Blazing Cartesia, or like a Super Poly or something. You can also make it with the Albion or with the Lubellion. You can get to this guy, okay? But he's especially good if you have Ecclesia in your graveyard. We are only playing one, but I think if you want a better build that kind of centers around all of this, you might want to play a second one. Either the Dogmatica Ecclesia, seen down here, or the Incredible Ecclesia. They're both Ecclesias. This isn't an Ecclesia. Despite everything, it's no longer her. What happened? No, really, what happened? I'm not sure if Cartesia lives by the end. I think she turns back into Ecclesia, which is why she has the horns, but it's left up to the imagination whether Cartesia actually survives it. I'm not sure. Everything else I'd say is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can fill up you can shave some of this down, like the Golden Sword Soul, the Blazing Cartesia, the Quests, the Iris Sword Soul, the Decisive Battles, the Springan's Calls, the Threatening Roars, the Thrust. You can get rid of those and just cram hand traps in here. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you, however, that you might want to consider the cards you choose with High Spirits, because High Spirits is a great starter as long as you have a monster in your hand you can send, and Ash Blossom is a zombie, and there's no level 8 fusions with 2500 attack or defense that you can send for that effect. Unfortunately. I mean, if there was, I'd be playing it. Can you imagine? Zombie Albaz? That shit would go crazy. I think that's about everything, actually. I don't think we need to tell much more. I mean, thank you, commenter, for... Actually, hold on. Let me pull that shit up. Thank you, Cardian, from the YGO Kit comment section for suggesting this video. And I hope to see you next time with some other crazy, probably lore brew. I tend to make some of those. This is probably my favorite deck I've ever built, even before the support, you know, in Master Duel. This deck is, I'm so happy about it. It's everything I've ever wanted out of a deck. It's not very good, it's not very competitive, but it's joyous Yu-Gi-Oh! It creates. Truly joyous Yu-Gi-Oh! This, you can smile the whole time when playing this. Even when you're losing. Unless you're losing to some, like, actual unbelievable dog shit. Then you're like, I couldn't even do anything, dog. What am I supposed to do? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can check out my other videos if you want. They're a little outdated, but I don't know. You can just watch them. You can watch Albaz Synchro. Does an Albaz Synchro interest you? I mean, Dissipator's on the thumbnail. So look at him. He's cool. Look at this guy. He's pretty gross.